So hi, welcome to Good Noise Podcast. We're here with Kevin from Pulses. He's going to ask us some questions. He didn't want to do the intro, so I'm doing it. I guess he's going to start. I don't know.
I mean, it's not my podcast, so
Yeah,
okay. It is for now.
Yeah, right
for
now.
For this episode, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, y'all asked me to come on, or y'all asked someone to come on,
Yeah.
and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it because I got time, and I low-key want to do a podcast, but I never really was sure if I really want to do it, so we'll see if I want to do it or not.
Yeah.
All right.
So the first thing, related to that, why did you guys want to start a podcast?
So are you taking this one, or am I taking this one?
I can take this
you
one.
Take this one.
Okay, so basically, I like watching people getting interviewed. I only listen to like maybe 2 podcasts actually, and they're like joke podcasts, like Austin and Travis's Slumber Party, where they like read fan fiction. It's really bad. But like those are the only podcasts that I ever listened to, and I also like listening to music, which is crazy. And I also wanted to learn about like the music process and talk to artists about their music and why they want to do it and all that stuff. So that's why I wanted to start a podcast.
I mean, so we staff in a Discord server together. She owns it. I'm the admin. We've got a whole staff team, and in staff chat, she kind of just joked about starting a podcast. I was like, sure, let's do it. So at the time, the staff team, like, we all came together and made Epic Beans podcast. And as you can see, we've broken away from everyone, and it's just the 2 of us now with a more serious name, taking it more seriously. But pretty much just started out as us not giving a fuck, and now we're here.
Right.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like most projects tend to start out that way. You're just like, let's do this, and then you're like, oh wait, we don't suck, so let's keep doing
we
this.
We don't suck. People are starting to follow us now. I guess we have to take it seriously.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's cool, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty much the same for me. It's just like, I feel like I can do something, so we'll see. But on that kind of note, since it's about music, do you guys play music at all?
No. I have a guitar, a piano, and a violin. I can't play any of them, but I have them.
I mean, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Would you want to eventually in the future? And I'll explain why I asked that. But
eventually, I want to. I've tried, but I can't coordinate for guitar and piano. I can't coordinate this hand to move to like the frets and this hand to play different. So it's like when I move this hand goes down as well. So it's just it doesn't work out for me.
Glory did one instance of Glory Fest here on the podcast, and it went really well. It. I own a guitar, and I played it in like 2nd and 3rd grade. I was getting lessons, and then my mom made me drop it because I wasn't practicing, and I think that's the last time I picked up a guitar. I mean, it's something I would like to come back to. I just don't like have the time or the energy, really.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, like, a lot of people I talk to, they're like, oh, I don't know how to play, and it's like, I feel like I'm too old. And it's like, I always tell people that, like, I started playing drums because of Rock Band, like the game.
Yeah.
And I played that for like years, but I didn't get serious about playing drums until like middle of college. So I was like already like 20, 21 when I was like actually getting serious about it. So it's like you can learn whenever you want.
Yeah.
And I hope people don't like get discouraged because they're like, oh, my life's like together and I can't like do this or whatever. Yeah. Or like, oh, I'm going to be like 20 something and I'm taking lessons still. It's like, no, I took lessons when I was like 20. So just do it. It's like you can always do it. Yeah. But I suggest that. Like, take out an instrument. It's fun.
All right.
We'll do.
We'll do Glory Fest again next week.
Yeah. Might as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess sort of a side tangent in a way. I'm assuming y'all were not around for like MySpace and things like that.
No.
So
I mean, we were alive. I just wasn't on the internet.
Yeah, not on the internet.
Yeah.
Not, like,
I saw it. Yeah.
Glory saw it in the Wayback Machine.
Shut up.
Exactly.
How old was I? When was MySpace like a thing? Like at its peak?
I couldn't even tell you like numbers. I feel like I was even barely on MySpace.
Yeah, it was like peak, like when the peak of emo kind of thing, like the
so like 2000,
and,
like 2000, Like
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah,
like,
so I was
2000.
one.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
so I was
old.
big on MySpace, actually.
All over
my
it.
favorite website.
But the
Mhm.
actual question to that is, what do you think? Because MySpace was like obviously like you just said, it's huge for like emo and huge for scene and huge for like a lot of music. What would you guys say is the platform right now that's like actually good for music?
Twitter.
I think. Oh, Shane, you go. I've started off.
Yeah, Twitter. I think that's
Twitter. Yeah.
I mean, that's where we've gained our following, I think, and I see that's where bands. It's where the most interaction happens between like the band and the fans.
Yeah.
I just think it's the easiest to get in touch with people.
Right.
But
That's
then, apart from that, I would say YouTube, because a lot of people that I've seen have blown up from like a viral video, and then like, what is it called? A label. Is like, hey, we like you, and we checked out some of your stuff. Like Troye Sivan blew up,
Right.
and
Yeah.
he's like huge now.
Right.
Oh my god, why is that the only one I can think of right now? Like, a lot of people that I used to watch have blown up from like putting out covers and whatever. So I think that's another good part. But since YouTube's a little bit of a dying platform now, maybe a couple years ago. But yeah, Twitter. I agree with Shane.
Sweet. That's cool because it's like I've always thought like I wish like Pulses was around in the MySpace era because I feel like it really just was like like easy to communicate directly to people and also like push your music. So it was like the combination of like not necessarily specifically, but like YouTube and Twitter at the same time.
Yeah,
So
combined.
it's just like everybody's like talking about the shit that they just watched or the shit on someone's profile and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I miss that, but it's good that people still think that music matters on social media.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like,
definitely.
Cool for me to like hear it from you guys.
Yeah.
A little bit different. Where do you guys listen to music? And that's like physically, like in your rooms versus your car or whatever. And then like, where do you consume it? Like YouTube, Spotify, all that.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, this one first.
Well, I consume it here at this desk and in my car for the most part. And then in terms of like where, it's Spotify and then like physical media still here and there. If I really enjoy the album, I'll go out and get it on a CD or a vinyl kind of thing. So, but Spotify's my way to go. And then if I'm listening to leaks, I use iTunes, like files, put them into iTunes. So,
Sweet.
Yeah. Well, when we used to go outside, I used to listen on my phone a lot. But recently, it's just been at my desk on Spotify, and I buy CDs. I'm poor now, but when I used to have money,
Right.
I bought CDs, and my brothers would like get me a vinyl for like Christmas or something. So I'm slowly building that collection.
Do you
I
guys
guess.
still like play the CDs and vinyl that you get?
Oh yeah, I do.
not as often as I probably should. I kind of just look at them.
No, I feel you.
Yeah.
Like I have a huge vinyl collection. Like there's 3 like, or not 3, but 6 like crates over there
Oh
that I
wow.
would show, but I'm not going to show the mess that's in front of them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's like there's so many over there that I have, and it's like I don't spin them as much as I like, but I try to make it a point now to at least once a weekend, like sit down and just like for like 30 minutes because like 30 minutes is not a lot of time. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's usually like an album or two, or like you can maybe start at 30 minutes to an hour, like an album or two.
Yeah.
And if I can at least do that, then I feel like, at least, I'm trying. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I use Last.fm to like track everything that I listen to.
Yeah.
So it's just easier for me to listen on Spotify because I don't have to then like put in what I've listened to and try to remember kind of thing.
Right.
So I just use
Yeah.
Spotify. It goes right to it, and then I can look back and see what I've listened to. So
did you like use iTunes and stuff before Spotify, or was it kind of around the same time?
before I used Spotify, I used to use iTunes because I had like an iPod and I'd put the music on to that. But I've only started heavily listening to music since I got like a Spotify premium subscription.
Wow. Imagine having Spotify Premium.
Premium gang.
Yeah, oh yeah.
See,
It's a
I didn't know
lifesaver.
Spotify existed for like a hot second until my friend was like, "Yo, have you checked out this new track?" And they sent like a Spotify link. I was like, "What is that?" I was just like grabbing stuff off of YouTube for the longest time since I can remember, just like listening to it off of there. So yeah, it's
I
not
do.
efficient. Yeah.
That's cool because like I've always like I used to have like a massive iTunes library, like huge, but then Spotify came out and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna listen over there. So now like my iTunes library is like generally pretty bare, unless it's like Bandcamp stuff that isn't on Spotify, and that's like the biggest thing that I still use it for is just like the little guys that don't put their stuff on streaming. But even that's like changing because DistroKid and like CD Baby and stuff, everybody can put their stuff. Like we use DistroKid Pulses, so it's like it's so easy to put your music on streaming stuff now that like everybody has it. So it's like I'm listening. It's the Bandcamp period of like 2010 to 2015. That was like right before this boom. That's like all my iTunes physical, or like not physical, but like iTunes library.
Yeah,
that must be so cool to look back at every now and then.
It is. It's interesting, especially like I used to listen to like struggle bands, and now I'm a struggle band, and it's great. So you know, you kind of see like full circle in the evolution of things. So definitely an interesting aspect about like the way things are going. So that was like 5 good questions that I wanted to ask. And so my next one is top 3 Machine Gun Kelly songs.
Okay.
This is all Glory.
Let me.
She simps for Machine Gun Kelly.
Okay, let me look at his playlist for a hot second.
I need to know because I do not know Machine Gun Kelly at all.
That was still my favorite moment from an interview ever when she said that, and your reaction priceless. That's how we know what our promo clip was when you started to like roll yesterday during the interview. That's the promo clip.
Okay, so I am going to say this. It changes a lot. So, okay, I'm gonna say, dude, there's so many. Okay, Hollywood Whore.
Okay.
Wow, watch your language over there, Glory. God damn.
Don't tell my mom.
What album did that come from, and like what year did that come out? Because I do not know.
Oh, that's Hotel Diablo. That's his most recent one. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it's 2019. Let me go to Bloom because I just started listening to Bloom again. Go for Broke. That was in 2017, and then I'm gonna go way back. General Admission. I can't say that one out loud, so I'm gonna pick another one.
My mom will kill me.
She would. Let's go with Make It Happen.
Okay.
So those are my top 3.
My top.
All I know is Wild Boy. So.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, my favorite Machine Gun Kelly song is the Misery Business cover. I think you did a really good job on it.
Shut! I'm gonna.
Better than the original.
Okay. No, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna
go there.
You gotta go. Go there.
Okay. With that cover, that was the first time I've heard that song in like years.
Which is a sin.
And I was like, yo, this is
the first time you heard that song. Period.
No.
Glory's not a big Paramore fan, but everyone's got to hear Misery Business at least once.
Exactly. Yeah. That used to be my song. I think in 2017, Misery Business was like my top scrabbled song. Yeah. Yeah, but it was the first time I've heard it since like 2017 because I like killed the song because I listened to it that much, and I was like, "Yo, this slaps!" Because it was Machine Gun Kelly as well, and it was like awesome. I think it was Travis. I think it was Travis Barker on there as well. Also, that helps too. But like you know, I'm taking back that statement now because it's not as good or good, but he's doing his best.
Right.
They're trying, I guess. If you could call it trying.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna need you
to stop that.
Yeah.
So part of that I actually was going to lead into something actually like thoughtful about it. Is I like Machine Gun Kelly as a entity. I don't necessarily listen to him much at all, but his crossover ability is really interesting to me because he, started with the song that I know being like Wild Boy, and he was like on mainstream hip hop radio, and then now you look at him now, he's covering Misery Business and is doing pop punk records. So it's just
Yeah.
a very large span, I think, for a dude that, I don't know, has had a lot of ups and downs over his career. But
Yeah.
it's something to think about. I think people need to think about how hip hop and punk like actually, relate to each other, because they really do.
Mhm. Definitely.
Let me see. What else do I got here? What band do you think has the best branding? Since you guys are like a podcast that talks about music and like promotes music and whatnot, what do you think is like promotable or like good to like a good way to promote things, or what band do you think does that well?
Ooh. Okay. Okay. So I don't know if you noticed, but I'm a big 21 Pilots fan. So what they do now, they started in the Blurryface era, which was in 2015 with Stressed Out and Ride. They started doing cryptic stuff. So that was a lot of hype and just like build up to album announcements or single announcements, and it gets like all their entire fandom like involved in everything, like solving puzzles and just like stuff all over the internet just related to this one thing. And a lot of like websites covered it, just like, oh my god, what are 21 Pilots doing? They're doing something weird again, guys. Like they did a whole cryptic thing to announce. I don't even think they've told us.
I don't think they announced anything yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends stayed up like for 2 nights straight. Rose stayed up for a really long time, just figuring out everything, deciphering this new language that they made up, and they still haven't announced anything. So it's a little confusing, but like I find it fun. So
yeah, I think a band being cryptic is one thing, but in the nicest way possible, Gloria. I think 21 Pilots has done it overboard, because they've been doing it since like the Blurryface era, which is like they're like 3 albums in now. Or
no,
2
they're
albums
only
in.
2. Yeah,
2 albums
it was
in,
just
and then
Blurryface light cryptic, and then Trench was just like disappeared for a year, and then they came back with cryptic stuff.
And now whatever they're doing for whatever they're about to announce, which is probably just like a music video or a remix or something, because why not? Fuck you guys.
Waterparks type beat.
I was going to say Waterparks just because Austin's so in your face, but at the same time, I think that gets annoying quickly. So I think like the right amount of cryptic is a good way to go about like promoting an album. A single, I think you should drop it and leave it at that, unless it's like the lead single. But I guess a good amount of cryptic. Shit.
A good amount of cryptic.
Yeah.
It's like a drop of 21 Pilots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of like what All Time Low did for for their new album. Whether you like the new album or not is up for discussion, but I think the way they went about that was cool.
Yeah.
What did they do for that?
They dropped they were dropping
weird
videos
Yeah.
like once a week, and something would change in the video like every single time. They burned like the Last Young Renegade thing or whatever, and I don't follow All Time Low that much. Like I don't know much new All Time Low, so they changed logos and stuff in the videos. So, and then it led up to that song announcement, the lead single.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It's like I'm like very fringely familiar with all three 21 Pilots. Who else did you say? Waterparks. Yeah.
Waterparks.
And All Time Low. It's like I know of them.
Yeah.
I know of most of their older stuff.
Yeah.
Like I guess.
Yeah.
But I definitely see where you're coming from, because I think a lot of the bands that are trying to do something that's like more than just here's my album, do seem to at least get people talking and stay talking.
Yeah.
Because that's like the hardest thing, I think, is especially like right now, in like Corona times where we can't tour or do things outwardly. So to create buzz with like a what is it? I figure there's like a term for it. I just lost it, but it's like, Caleb, what is it? Where like, what Death Grips did that one time when they were like promoting stuff and they're like playing games on the internet? What is it called? I literally can't. You're no help.
God damn it, Caleb.
Like a
you're
scavenger hunt?
Whatever. Yeah, it's like a scavenger hunt. There's a term for it, though. I can't. I'm going to remember this after, and then I'll tweet about it, but whatever. Yeah, so it's like doing that keeps people talking, gets like the community going, and I think that's like the best part, because like everybody's like trying to figure stuff out. Like, oh, this is this, that, and the third. It's like I know it's like it wasn't even related to that, but I don't know if you guys saw the story about that one dude on Warped Tour that like posted on Reddit about his like his relationship thing, but they couldn't figure out who it was.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so it's like everybody was like freaking out, like trying to talk about like when was this band on this tour and like you know doing this. And
yeah, it still hasn't been figured out.
Yeah, like I don't think anyone ever figured it out.
I don't think it's been figured out yet.
Yeah, so
I think
but
it
it's
just
just
got
like
brought up again.
the community was like going crazy on that.
Mhm.
So I think it's like that kind of buzz is important even for a band, you know, to create something that's a little bit bigger than you.
Yeah.
And then you can tie that to the music and then it makes it like really cool.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, cryptic
Kinda
stuff
like
gets people
what works.
talking, and being in your face, Austin style, also gets people talking. Maybe not in the best light, but at least people are talking about you.
That is true. But
Yeah.
I have him muted so he's not on my TL.
Valid, valid though.
So he doesn't
Valid.
tweet
Listen,
anymore,
yeah.
so
Listen,
Well, that's
there-
fair. I wouldn't know.
yeah, I mean, I like their music. I just don't like the way he handles himself. Trying
Yeah.
to watch myself just in case we ever get Austin on the podcast because we tried and we got denied. So we're working
See,
there. We're working.
I love Austin. I love his energy. I love like his interviews and everything. I could watch him for days because he's just like so upbeat and just
Yeah.
like himself. Same with Youngblood. I like those
Right.
people. So I'm the exact
Oh.
opposite.
Oh, I mean, I have a personal bone to pick with Austin. I got to
Right.
meet him a couple of days before Fandom dropped, and I called
Mm-hmm.
him Pop Punk, the band Pop Punk, directly to his face. He doesn't like when the band
They
gets
kinda
called
are.
Pop Punk. So he ignored me for the rest of the meet and greet because he didn't like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got to
Okay.
talk to Jeff and Otto instead. And Austin talked to my mom.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I could understand having
Yeah.
a bone to pick with that dude.
Yeah.
But-
So
That's interesting,
Yeah.
honestly. It's like
gotta get him
kinda-
on here so I can talk to him about it.
Exactly. So why is your band pop punk?
Yeah.
It's funny, like the labels that like will set someone off. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because like we get called Swancore all the time, and
Mhm.
that's what we are, and we understand that. But I think a lot of people, I guess, want to pigeonhole you, and no one wants to feel that way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like as a creator, you want to believe that you're doing something that's like it just stands on its own.
Mhm.
But when someone tries to put it under like this tent or whatever, then you're like, well, what if I don't want to be there? So
Yeah.
I get where Austin's coming from, but I wouldn't not talk to you. Like,
Yeah.
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 said
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, it's
That-
just
that
it's
is
impossible to label them because every single album changes with their sound.
Right.
Exactly,
Minus
yeah.
the EPs, those are pop punk, but like the albums themselves,
Mm-hmm.
they change with each album, so it's impossible to label
Yeah.
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really have a lot more
All right.
for
Is
you,
that good?
but I figured I didn't want to like stretch this out to like huge lengths.
Yeah.
But I will end with two kind of mini questions.
Okay.
What are you listening to, or what was the last thing you were listening to? Like just music wise,
Fuck.
anything, whatever.
I don't want to admit this.
I'm listening to
was-
something right now.
Yeah, I right before we joined this call, I was listening to Pierce the Veil.
Oh, I love Pierce the Veil.
I know, but like their drummer isn't the best, and they're
Yeah,
not
I
handling the
know.
situation well. But like, listen, their music still be kind of smacking. So like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was listening to Pierce the Veil right before this.
Yeah. I'm listening to Liam Payne. So
Taste.
Yeah.
1B.
yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah.
Be that way.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But like, since you brought that up, I guess we can just like throw this in there really quick.
Mhm.
How do you feel about like listening to bands that have had problems, so to speak?
Gloria and I are completely different on this.
Mhm.
I'm able to separate the art from the artist. So like I'll continue to listen to the band and then just not support them, quote unquote. Like, yeah, your music smacks, but like you're a piece of shit. I know Gloria's the other way, so I'll let her go.
Yeah.
From there.
I can't separate the art from the artist because every time I listen to them, I'm like, God, this person did this thing and this thing and this thing, and it's like I can't listen to it with the right head. I don't know. I just can't listen to it. I can't bring myself to listen to them if they do something that's like bad. You know?
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
I totally understand both sides of the coin, and that's why I like tend not to give an opinion because I don't want to like influence anybody on how they feel or how they think that they should feel about it. And
Yeah.
I think it's very personal and case by case basis
Yeah,
based
I
on
mean,
like what you've experienced as a person and how you perceive what X person did, and then how much you listen to what they did before they did.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you wanna not support them anymore, I'm not gonna be like, yo, you should totally still listen to them because their music smacks, even though they're a bad person. Like, at the end of the day, I don't give a shit if you're listening to them or not. Like, I'm gonna keep on listening to them, and like, as long as you're not telling me that I shouldn't be listening to them because they're bad people, then like, we're good here, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's really just mutual respect.
Yeah.
Like, I think, obviously they didn't do that, but we can respect each other for the way that we consume, as long as we're not supporting,
Exactly. Yeah.
things. So cool. That's a serious answer. And now we're gonna end with like me gassing myself up. So
Okay.
what's your favorite Pulses song right now?
Oh.
Okay.
I gotta pull up the.
I want it.
I gotta pull up your Spotify page. I was listening to you guys last night.
Why is my Spotify frozen?
So, fuck.
You told me this last night.
Did I? Well, there's.
Yeah, you told me.
There's Don't Say Anything, Just Retweet off the new album. I've been really enjoying, and then there's just something about What's Good, What's Really Good that like.
That's the
hits
classic
me.
one.
Yeah, so I like those two right now. Although, like the whole like first half of the Speaking Into Existence, I vibe with hard. So.
Sweet. We stacked it like that.
Yeah.
Purposely.
My favorite is Olivia Wilde because
Oh,
a little it makes me so happy. I don't know, it makes me so happy. So that one's my favorite.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a great reason, and I'm glad it actually like didn't scare people away. Cause like,
No.
that shit was gonna be weird, and no one's gonna like it.
No.
Oh, that's awesome. Great. That makes me feel better.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as Kevin said, that's all the questions he has. So thank you for doing this, Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was. This has been Kevin from Pulses interviewing us, and we're the Good Noise Podcast.